All right. Good afternoon. I'd like to call this meeting of the Lancaster County Council to order. I ask that the clerk note for the record that a quorum of council is present, that public meeting of the notice has been posted and then including the meeting agenda has been posted the required length of time in the lobby of the county administration building and on the county website, and that the news media was notified of the meeting time and place. I'd like to welcome you to the Committee of Whole meeting. I'd ask that you take a moment to turn off or place on vibrate any cell phones or pagers. Thank you for not wearing any hats or caps in the council chambers, and please be considerate of others in the room by refraining from conversations during the meeting. I ask that we all stand, please, and join council for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the invocation giving this afternoon by Council Member Jose Luis.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear God, thank you for all the blessings that we have. Thank you for the sunshine today after several days of rain. Thank you for having us all gather together to represent our constituents' interests in the best possible way that we can. Guide us to make the right decisions and guide us to lead with open eyes, open hearts, and open minds. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. We have a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Motion from Ms. McGriff. Have a second?
Second.
Second from Mr. Luis. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. It's unanimous, 7-0. We do not have anyone that signed up for citizens' comments here. We do have one electronic one, Ms. Simpson.
Yes, Mr. Chairman and council members, you all have a physical copy of this comment at your seat. It came in from Nick Rako from Indian Land, South Carolina, and he wrote in regarding poor planning, bad roads, bad traffic, people dumping trash, poor schools, and nobody trying to fix it. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we'll go on to item 6A, our discussion and action items. We're going to get a regional park update from Ms. Snowden.
Thank you, and good evening, Chairman and members of council. Just want to give you an update on the work that has been taking place over the last several months. So as you all know, this is the site plan, and I will note that E, the inclusive playground, we know that that is part of the core element. So just wanted to note that. This is just a reminder that in October of 2023, the council approved a budget of $34.7 million. And that these were the revised cost projections that were brought to you back in February of 25. And again, this is just showing what the internal project management team has looked at as phase one, and then depending on how the bids come in, what the subsequent phasing could look like. And I'll skip through this, but we know that there will be 3 baseball fields, an enhanced splash pad and miracle or inclusive playground, soccer fields, and the maintenance and storage building. So permits and updates. Just wanted to let you know that the design phase was completed in late December, and Wolpert began on construction document phase. They started working on those in January and had preliminary construction documents available in May, and we've been focused on finalizing the construction documents and not looking at and not going back and forth on estimates, knowing that the next step and pushing them towards going out to bid, because it's only truly going out to bid what we will know the true pricing is. So potential obstacles. weathered rock and storm drain locations. We did do additional borings, 60 feet deep. That was completed about 1 month ago, the boring itself. So the results will determine if we'll need to be doing rock chipping needed or if storm drains can be raised. Retaining wall, soil density issue, engineering drawings call for 120 pounds per cubic foot. And the current density site where we're looking at putting the retaining wall out at the baseball fields has 90 pounds per cubic foot. Excess topsoil. Right now, the estimate is there's about 42,100 cubic yards of topsoil. That's, if you look at a dump truck, it is about 10 to 14 cubic yards per truck. So the amount of topsoil that we have, if it had to be trucked out, would be 3,000 to 4,200 standard dump truck loads. And so the plan is to salvage and place in deep fills on the site to save hundreds of thousands of dollars and create a bridge layer. So these are the things that we've been working on. I'm sorry.
I'm out. Somebody on engineering, somebody needs to balance the dirt.
It is balanced. That's my point. It is balanced.
Yeah, but that's moving a lot. If you got that much excess.
That was a comparison of what actually is there. We're not going to be trying to move that. I'm just giving you a comparison
What I'm saying is, if they got that much to move, it doesn't. That sounds like a lot of dirt.
They're not going.
This going to be moved unnecessarily.
They're not moving it away from the site.
No, but I mean, some you don't balance. You can't balance. I mean, you got to balance the dirt better than that. Whether they got to lower the site or raise it a foot,
I've had
not right with that number.
We have had a.
Mr. Louise is shaking his head. He's had more to do with commercial.
I am not saying that we are going to be moving 3,000 to 4,000, having 4,000 or 4,200 dump truck loads. I'm just explaining the number of 42,100 cubic yards of topsoil. And that the site is balanced, as the construction documents are. It is balanced, and we've actually even had a third party look at it to make sure that it's correct. So I'm just explaining to you how much dirt, how much has had to be done to actually balance the site.
And Ms. Snowden, to do that, can you back up to I think the second slide where you show the overall site plan? Because I don't want to.
Can we have our Public Works Department look at that, please?
Sure. We've had a third party too.
The only point that I'm making is that there is a solid engineer construction manager who has looked at this outside of Woolpert.
Just to be clear, because I think we're all saying the same thing. I think what you're saying is you're moving it not from one far location to another or moving it in trucks. You're moving a little bit from over here, pushing it over here, and you're counting all of those as the totals. I think what Mr. Harper is saying is that's still a lot of dirt to have moved around.
Sorry, y'all. Yes, it is. That is the point that I'm making to you all, that the site is not balanced and that the engineering considerations. We're not moving anything away from the site. And just because we wanted to make sure that our engineering was solid, we actually did have a third party construction expert look at it, who said our documents were solid and that the consideration is making sure that we salvage as much of the topsoil. This is just the topsoil, to save hundreds of thousands of dollars and create a bridge layer.
But I want to make sure we're highlighting or talking on the same knowledge.
Okay.
Is that where you show A on the slide, basically that's the high point of the site.
Yes.
Correct? And then when you get down towards the B there, and this court says it slopes down to the creek around there, that's where we're going to have to move or balance out a lot of the dirt, is to scrape it down to below. Because I don't know what the foot drop is, but I thought we were talking 6 feet or more, probably a lot more.
It was more. It was a lot more than
So
that.
that's why we're talking about balancing the site, is basically we're taking from the A through F area, and we're going to have to do a whole lot of movement down towards the E and B area. But what we're saying is that we're not moving it off site. there's going to be a whole lot of moving around. So we talk about clear cutting, and then you get to actually balancing out the topsoil. That's where we're headed with this.
Right, we're not talking about moving that dirt, paying all that money. But, yeah, off-site, but we can definitely get with Mr. Cato and have him look at the documents
That's
as
the
well.
total amount of yards of dirt that'll be moved.
That is just the topsoil. I just wanted to,
What's the total yard?
I don't know what the total yards, I only have the topsoil, so.
How many yards was that?
It was 42,100 cubic yards. That's just the topsoil.
How many, I'm sorry?
42,100 cubic yards of topsoil.
I got one question. With the grading that we're doing for this phase here, are they going ahead and grading it for the other phases?
Yes, what we are pushing for is for all infrastructure to be done at
Good.
one time, because if you start and stop, it's going to cost a lot more to have whoever
right.
does it to
That's good. We get
stage
ready
up.
to expand all we had to do. The
Right.
grading and stuff will be done. Good.
Yes, sir. Any other questions? Okay. And I know that I was sort of ignorant of what it takes to actually do a park. I thought it's outside. It's not going to be that much. It doesn't, it shouldn't be that much. But sports fields require precise elevations for drainage and turf. And so we've been working to coordinate with utility layouts, stormwater models, submittals through architecture, civil, landscaping, plumbing, TRC review, and all of that. And so I'm sorry, I messed it up. So there we are. Okay, so I just wanted to give you all an update on the permits. So we did receive conditional approval on site planning from the TRC on August the 8th. Likewise, conditional approval from on the water and sewer plan there. And then Wolpert is coordinating additional submittals, and I don't know when those will actually be completed. We're hoping before the end of this month, but with the buildings that will be on the site, we're awaiting approval from the Department of Environmental Services, so that will be engineering and stormwater. And the good news is that we did receive a review from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. That can take a long time, but thankfully their review was closed and they agreed with the design. Ms. Sherry? What? And so an outstanding issue is that we're addressing from the Water and Sewer District. They're mandating that a sewer trunk line must be fully permitted and operational prior to initiating park construction or any land disturbances. So we have provided Lennar Homes with a right of entry to the regional park for the purpose of constructing the access road and the sewer line. The next one, Sherry. And so just this gives you an example. Their line is actually running through the parking area. Next slide, Sherry. And so where on the far right, you will see that's where it will connect in. So the line, the Lennar sanitary sewer line is where you see on the left, and on the right is where it would actually connect in. Trunk 4 at the park would connect into that. So the next slide. Okay, so the next thing that we're working on with the TRC and Development Services is a detailed evaluation that estimates how the regional park will affect traffic pattern volumes. Next slide, please. And so that the scope looks at Roslyn Avenue and US 521. I'm sorry.
Concerning the traffic impact, do we know yet whether will be, or will we have more than one, or more than two?
We will have one entrance and one exit, because had we actually done two, we would have had some wetlands disturbance. And so the TRC looked and worked with us on trying to actually make it as wide as we can and have an appropriate design, while also trying to accommodate the appropriate number of parking spaces.
And do we know yet where that entrance and exit will be?
Yes, I believe if we go back, but we do. It's going to be off of US 521. And so the,
Say that again, the entrance to the park will be off of Roseland Parkway?
if you
Sherry, can you go all the way
you
back?
go back,
to the
I may
second
be a
slide?
little off. I'm sorry, if you could go to the,
There's, right there, I think, or if you show in the bottom there, Roseland Avenue, or Roseland Parkway, I think. Isn't it coming off of Roseland, or is
it's
it?
coming off of Roseland. I'm sorry, I meant Roseland. So it's going to come in and come off of Roseland.
I think it's kind of where that red line is in the middle for, it's a sewer line, but I think the entrance there is roughly around that red line in the middle there.
Okay.
Is
It'll be
that the
an
road
entrance.
that got closed right now? Is that the road that they got actually closed?
It's not even been developed yet. There's a-
Right, but they're going, so they're going to open that area back up. Right now, they've closed that up on the hill
It's,
there.
it's
where
more up
our
towards the
park's
top
gonna
of the
be.
hill.
I'm not familiar with what.
There was a road that went through there, a dirt road, and they've closed it and
Yeah,
got that
yeah, sure
trees growed up there now. So I just wondered, that's where we're going to have to go in. Is it going to be our entrance, or are we going in off of there, or are they going to cut another road in there?
I know that we're supposed to do a tie-in for future development, but I don't think we're going to actually have a full-on paved road. That's not going to be part of the scope of the project.
Well, I mean, you're looking at there's layouts for houses, and that section is north of where their entrance is currently.
So I think, Mr. Marcello, are you talking about where they put the new trees right from 521 where you can see?
Yeah,
it?
above the new sign,
Yeah.
north of the new
So
sign.
that's not our land.
Oh, I know it's not,
Okay.
but there was a road there at one time.
I'm with you.
It was
I'm
a
with you.
dirt road.
It
Yeah.
was a dirt road.
Dirt road.
I just wonder, are they going to open that road back up? Is that where we're going to go in and turn off of?
We are not as of now. So the Roseland Parkway that's currently developed and they have houses.
Yeah, the big main
Left-hand
one down at the
side.
bottom of the hill.
Yeah, we are coming off of the main parkway, which is featured right there in the bottom of the picture. You can see some of the houses on that plat there. So that is Roseland Parkway in the bottom of the picture on the screen. And then our main entrance to the park is off of Roseland Avenue, or Roseland Parkway, I can't remember.
Okay.
So,
So there won't be anything up at the top of the hill.
Well,
No.
there's something there because it's showing a road at the top.
correct, and there could be, but you still have the commercial development there, so we don't
Right,
know how
right.
the
I
commercial
know
development
commercial
is going to be
development.
laid out.
An avenue is the main entrance now, right at, before you get to the little
21.
bridge. Okay, it's right there.
The Roseland.
I keep going back to this, just the field dirt. I Googled and asked, it come up with Copilot did, low estimate, $140 per cubic yard, which is almost 6 million, high end, $230 per cubic yard, and almost 10 million. That's just our topsoil. We dead in the water. I mean, that's not even counting site grading. I'm just,
I think
we're gonna be in for sticker shock.
That was the 8 million that they quoted.
It was 18 million for the entire site work. The
Increase was like 8 million, I thought, if I remember correctly from.
we actually reduced it.
Yeah, we had a reduction.
So one of the things, because I would agree, if you all think you all have sticker shock, and Councilmember Harper, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to stress you out after you had your day with the bumblebee, but we've been lamenting this, the internal project management team, and Tim Green has been our primary, and he has been dog birding every cost, every bill, everything. And we reached the realization that we've gotten this far, we've got our construction documents, we need to be ready to go to bid in September and see what things will look like, because we won't know until we actually go out to bid. So we know that the earthwork is substantial, and that was all. I was just trying to give you some data about the fact that,
We know how many
Topsoil
cubic
is-
yards have got to be balanced.
yes, and I did have, well, I don't know that I know that just the topsoil, I have asked Wolpert to provide us with that, and we can get that, but I just wanted to just give you an idea of why this just hasn't just been simple. We've done multiple borings to make sure that we're not going to hit rock and that sort of thing. And then also making sure that whatever it is that we put out there, particularly that retaining wall, that the soil can actually handle it, and what we'll need to do to stabilize that. So
Well, we know at this point, that bid of 34.7 came in when, Stephanie?
35.7, I brought that to you all in February. And so we've been getting what we might think are estimates. And again, we just wanted to make sure we were on track. So we actually had a third-party construction expert who's in this area. It didn't cost us more than maybe $1,000 or $2,000 to look at what the work we've been doing, and they have said your construction documents are solid, and these are the considerations that y'all need to think about.
Well, what I'm saying is that we may as well get ourselves ready for a shock, because we know it's not gonna come in on bid. We know that. And we may as well get ourselves ready and our thoughts ready to how we're gonna pull back, or how we're gonna move forward. Because if we're expecting to come in on bid with everything else going up, we are in for a rude awakening. We just need to know in what direction we wanna go.
We'll know, you'll have some bids for the end of the year then?
Yes, and we've been pushing hard, yes, sir. And keep in mind that understanding what the true cost is will also help us when we actually go out for our sponsorships and that sort of thing. So it's kind of hard to shoot in the dark not knowing. So we've just been pushing Wolpert and saying, hey, get us to construction, get us to permitting so that we can go out to bid.
So, and just to be clear, so anybody that comes in and is listening and maybe thinking, I expect the bids to come in where our expectations are. And if they don't, I would expect them to come in and suggest some cost reductions that would apply and how they can make it work within the bid.
Exactly, and that would actually be why how we're going to bid it is actually having the non-negotiables, which Mr. Mosteller tore me up, talking about don't be bringing me no punk
Did he actually
splash
say
pad.
punk?
Basically,
Did he say
said
punk?
it. He said it with his eyes. He was
Oh, my
like, "Don't be
goodness.
bringing me no play splash pad." So we know the splash pad and the adaptive playground; those are non-negotiables. But there have been plenty of folks, seriously, that have actually companies and organizations that are interested in actually sponsoring those. So we
Do we
just
have
need
to-
to know what the numbers are. That's what we've been pushing for.
Do we have to do all this site grading before we can put in our sewer lines, or?
That is what we're working on. So Lennar is doing the major line and then connecting the trunk line. But that is why we are going to actually be bringing forth to you. Right now, we are looking at a design bid build. And we may look at having a construction manager at risk because we have a lot of really smart, talented internal people that are on the team. But as we start phasing, we need to actually have someone who actually has this expertise. So rather than having a GC, we may recommend having a construction manager at risk. That also actually takes some of the risk off of the county because if there are price increases and provided that we've actually bid the document correctly, then they would assume more of the risk and we will have less change orders and those sorts of things.
Makes sense.
And there's already 4% for the GC of the total part of the project. So I've just been researching, and anywhere between 5 to 7% of the total project if the construction manager at risk. So those are the proposals that we'll bring back. So the onus is not going to be on you all to figure out the phasing or how we would actually phase the amenities. We would come back to you with a plan once the bid comes in.
And I do want to highlight that what we're presenting today within the 34.7 million confines is that we did realize the site cost for grading everything is going to be significantly, potentially over $10 million. And so that's why we have re-looked at the layout of the fields. That's why we're looking at 3 fields now. And so we're anticipating that these costs are going to be what we've been talking about with our consulting for the last 5 months. And so then you're right, once we get the actual bid, then we'll be able to give you some more value engineered or give you some more thoughts on how we go forward.
Any other questions?
Could you bring up the traffic impact analysis?
Oh, okay.
slide? I just want to make
Let
sure.
me see if I can
It's like the second from the.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just want to make sure I understand. So people will be coming off of 521 and Old Hickory Road into Roseland Avenue.
Yes.
What is the Roseland Avenue and the proposed east and west access then in this?
This was essentially what was requested. I don't know if they're planning for the future or what have you. This was what.
But there's
was
only going to be
asked.
one access into the park though, right?
Right, but people will be coming in and going out. There will actually be it's going to kind of be split. It will be one entrance and one exit.
Oh, okay.
So there'll be an entrance and an exit. It won't just be one way in, but they're not, it's not.
I got you. Okay, and then my next question is, I'm assuming there's going to be probably something to do with this, but how would that cost factor into, how would that get paid for, I guess?
For the,
For the traffic, whatever has to happen with the traffic?
okay, so my understanding, I mean, that would come out of the budget, and I don't believe that it's going to be terribly expensive.
all
It's
right.
not a $15,000, $10,000, $20,000 study.
Okay.
It's about a couple of $1,000s.
Well, I'm just thinking, no, I'm thinking about what the study's going to require, the work to be done, the road improvements.
Right, so if we have to do road improvements, it's part of the project cost, but part of the project cost on some of these things could either be funded by future CTC recommendations or different things as we go along and look at different.
Right.
So once we know what the TIA is, how the program is, and when it has to be implemented, we'll work on the funding. But it is considered part of the project cost.
Oh, it is? Okay, but it's in there somewhere in those?
Well, no,
I didn't see it in there, that's why I was asking.
it's part of the project cost, not fully identified yet.
All right.
So yeah, no, let me be very clear about that. So that's why we are interested in making sure we know what the traffic impact analysis says.
Well, Lennar's already addressed a lot of the traffic at that intersection. So,
Yeah, having that turn lane on 521 already
Right.
will be accounted for in the TIA. I think
Oh,
some of it might be on the Old Hickory side.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's more going to be on the Old Hickory side because I don't think there's.
But there is also, I mean, when you see the east and west, again, we don't know how that connection is going to be to the commercial development that is between the park and 521. And so is there in the future an opportunity for the access point or connection or whatever? We know there's wetlands. We've kind of already did some evaluation on that, but we never know that maybe down the road there may be an interest in how they develop that commercial property to connect to it or not. And it could be a bike pathway or something. I don't presume what it could be, but there could be an access point.
I'm trying to get in my mind the road leaving the park. You're going to go downhill down toward Roslyn Avenue, correct? Is that going to be part of a housing development in there, or we using one of their roads, or?
The current layout is that the park touches the north side of Roseland Avenue.
Right.
So that's all county park.
okay,
land.
I
So there's no
got you.
housing development on the north
Okay,
part of Roseland.
no housing development there.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
gotcha.
on the main
I got you.
boulevard.
That's where I couldn't get. I didn't know how far the houses was coming up to there.
And we'll find a better map so we maybe show you afterwards and lay it out.
I mean, it might be worth going out there and just going out there and seeing it at some point in the next couple of months, just to understand where this thing's laying out and how it's going to look, just because I'm having trouble.
Yeah. And what you'll see is there's a significant dip off
Yeah,
of
which is-
Roseland Avenue that we're going to have to move dirt and fill in and have that all done. So yeah, if you want to do a walking tour or something of some of that, we're happy to set that up so we can be part of that.
What about a Jeep? Can we do a Jeep tour?
We will find something that works so you can see that land. We might even do a helicopter.
Gator Road.
I'm not too, I'm not too good in walking in mud and dirt, y'all. Y'all have to get
Can
me.
you bring a skid steer in there?
Any additional questions or comments?
Arlene wants the air conditioned one.
That'll help.
Oh, there's nothing.
Roll the windows down.
Oh, Yes, so the next steps are construction documents and permitting. We had started looking at sponsorship opportunities, but again, are going to wait for the bid process to come in. We'll provide you with an additional update in November, December, and then just figuring out when we will actually do our groundbreaking. So just wanted to just bring you this update. So I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for the update.
Okay, we are going to move on to item 6B, communications plan regarding the transportation sales tax.
Right. Again,
Ms. Snowden and Ms. Woods.
And before Ms. Snowden, it's the Ms. Snowden show today, but before Ms. Woods comes up too, I've got to make sure I give council the caveat. We are talking about the transportation sales tax. And the fact that it's going to be on a referendum for county voters, we've got to be limited in our conversation today. This is just to give you what our communications plan is, so you see some of the tools and techniques we're going to use to do the education campaign, but we need limited conversation so we don't get afoul the ethics accusations that we're doing some type of advocating or whatever it may be. So we really just want you to receive this information. If you have some other comments afterwards, feel free to grab one of us, but for a public body who's already put this to referendum vote, we have to keep our comments limited. So we want to make sure you just receive the information, don't get afoul of some of the ethics guidelines, and then we can talk if you have some feedback about how we're going to do the communications plan. We'll go from there.
Chairman and Council, just wanted to just say that Ms. Woods has been here for what, a month? Okay, a month and a week, and she's hit the ground running. She's gone and interviewed Jeff. She's spoken with our legal counsel, Ms. Merck DuPont, myself, as well as the administrator, and is putting together what I think is going to be a very good public education effort. And she knows that we cannot advocate but educate. And so she's just going to be walking you through the types of materials that she has been working on, and we hope to have those materials to Ms. Merck DuPont at least by the end of this week, and then she can begin her review, and then we can start hitting the ground running. But Ms. Woods?
Absolutely. Hello, well, good evening now. Good evening, everyone. How are you? I do want to go over the transportation sales tax funding. Public education is the key here. We want to educate the public on what this is and what it means for them. This is our outreach plan. So on November 4th this year, Lancaster County voters will have the opportunity to vote yes or no for a 1% sales tax increase to help fund transportation projects. Additionally, voters will have the opportunity to cast a vote yes or no on the bond referendum, which will allow the county to undertake multiple road projects at one time. In preparation for the November ballot, the county's administration, the marketing and communications team, the public services division, and the legal division are all collaborating on a clear, accessible outreach campaign to educate residents about the proposed 1% sales tax transportation funding plan. So I'm going to go over exactly what it is that we want to use for public outreach and education. First of all is a comprehensive webpage, and on this webpage we're going to provide extensive public educational materials that will include videos, interactive maps, printed materials, fact sheets, and the ability for the community, for groups and organizations to reach out to staff to request outreach. We are also providing a simplified one sheet that will summarize the funding plan and the ballot initiatives. We'll also be creating a PowerPoint for public meetings. And we are also, or have created an interactive online map. In collaboration with the county's GIS service, we have created an interactive online map that will allow residents to really view the proposed projects, locations in their real time. We will also be using static maps to highlight projects in every geographic location in the county. That way folks can really see that this is a countywide project. We're also going to be using these measures to make sure we're going to get approval from the county attorney and the Ethics Commission to make sure that all of this falls under public education. We're going to be presenting to businesses, civic groups, nonprofits, and neighborhood organizations. And then we'll also be providing an outreach team, and that outreach team will include the administrator, deputy administrator, myself, and the Public Services Division Director. We have a goal of delivering more than 40 presentations prior to November. This is our outreach request, sort of one-sheeter here, and it says county staff is available to provide educational presentations to the community, businesses, civic, and neighborhood organizations. And of course, you can reach us for these outreach requests through phone, through email, by visiting our website, or of course, visiting us in person here at the administrative building. Before we get into questions, though, I have a special surprise. I would like to show you all the interactive map that we have been working on. So, can I move this? Okay. So you'll be able to click a link that will take you to this webpage. This is not live yet, but hopefully it will be live in the very near future. It gives a pinpoint, letting people know that pinpoint locations shown on this map are approximate and for reference only. Exact project locations may vary. And then you enter into the site. It's going to give you the same message. And then I'm going to zoom out so you can see the full picture, so you can see our whole county. And every pinpoint represents a project, whether it is resurfacing, major widenings, intersection improvements, roundabouts, and then we also have them individualized by color, specifically the resurfacing based off of the area. So here in the city of Lancaster, we have teal, this beautiful teal here for Heath Springs, blue for Kershaw. So folks can really see that it's a countywide initiative. It's not just focused on one area of our county. So I'll just give you a quick demo. You can zoom in. Let's say we want to look at the resurfacing in the city of Lancaster. We can go here, and you can do this view, or you can also do a satellite view, depending on your preference. This view does not, my brain cannot compute, so we're going to go back, which it's all preference, right? So here you can even zoom into right here on South French Street, and you can click, and it will even give you proposed resurfacing on South French Street. And you can go through this, and you can deselect or select based off of what you want to see. It's very interactive, very user-friendly, and we're hoping that this will be a great tool to use across the board. So folks can really see, like if you want to see if they're doing road on your specific street, you'll be able to do that. And it's not working right now, but earlier today, you could actually type in a street. You could type in like Matson Street, Kershaw, South Carolina, and it would bring you to the street and let you know whether or not there was going to be road work done on that. So we're working to get that feature back up. Any questions?
And when I referenced earlier, if there are some civic groups, if there are some things you have for the education campaign, we do have the contact information on there, or let us know, as we said. So we have our goal of at least 40 different civic groups to be in front of to do the education campaign. If there are some that you want to have us get in contact with, we'll be glad to do that. So this is a start. We said we'll have the full materials hopefully ready to go once we have a review, and then we'll be able to do the full education campaign. So thank you.
All right. Arlene, you going to go up and keep us entertained for another hour and a half?
I could do that, easy.
Okay, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Have a motion from Mr. Harper, a second from Ms. McGriff. All those in favor? Raise your right hand. We're adjourned.